Hi, Ariana。完成，你做什么？打蛋糕吗？
对，蛋糕。
是生日蛋糕吗？
生日蛋糕。
是谁的生日？
是弟弟生日。
啊，他几岁？
他2岁。
啊，可是不是真的吗？
对。
今天不是他的生日，对不对？
可是不是真正他的生日。
对。
So, people know my wife is Caucasian and I'm Chinese, and my wife and I have been putting a lot of effort into trying to raise our children bilingually. There are a lot of tips out there, but not a lot of people have a lot to say about it. So I wanted to give a couple of pointers for anybody out there that's interested in raising their children bilingually. I want to tell you though, that if you are going to try and raise your child bilingually, it's 100% effort. Once you start holding back or once you start cutting corners, the children actually start to lose the language very, very quickly. So I would recommend that if you're going to go through with it, make sure that you're committed. And that brings me to my number one point. Choose a language that means something to you. Usually something cultural. For me, the reason why I wanted to raise my children bilingually is my parents put a lot of effort into trying to teach me Mandarin Chinese. They had tutors for me, and they tried their best to send me to Chinese school and get me motivated, and I just didn't want to. I rebelled against them, and it wasn't until I was about 18 or 19 when I started to really regret it. I went to do missionary work in Taiwan for 2 years for my church, and I fell in love with Chinese, and I just put myself into it, and I did my best to learn Chinese as well as I could. And learning Chinese actually helped me grow closer to my parents because I can speak to them in Chinese and we understand the culture, each other's culture better. So I would recommend to choose something that means something to you. The second thing is environment. You want to surround them with things related to that language. My kids, we got them the entire series of Dora the Explorer in Chinese, and we've watched it thousands of times, I think. And we get Disney cartoons in Chinese, a lot of cartoons from Taiwan and China. So DVDs, music in that language, CDs, books, we read to them every night in Chinese. You just want to surround them with as much Chinese as they can so they can hear it, and it becomes natural to them to hear it all the time. So you want to surround them as much with the environment. One of the things I think is important also that has to do with environment is speak the language with them if you can speak that language. And the reason is that children don't just learn the language, but they have to have a reason to use it. And usually people, when they have family and they're emphasized to speak the language with them, then they know it's a family language and it's an important thing. For my daughter, we had DVDs and movies going, but she was actually picking up English better than Chinese. But we didn't give up. We just emphasized every time she would speak to us in English, we speak to her back in Chinese, and eventually she learned that whenever we're speaking to her, that we want her to speak Chinese. And now she speaks 70%, probably 80% Chinese. And because she speaks Chinese, her younger brother also speaks Chinese. Also, if you can, friends and family, also get them to speak the language to the children. If they have peers, children have peers, then they want to speak the language. You don't want to just be from the parents, but you want to have friends. So my kids, they have cousins that live nearby, and the cousins also speak Chinese. And when they're with each other, that's all they do is they speak Chinese with each other. If you have any play groups with people from that language that you want them to speak, get with them. Make sure that your children have friends that speak that language, because as you know, for children, social environment matters a lot. So try and get them socially mixed in with other people that speak that language. If you can, also try and get tutoring or some type of schooling, making it structured. Kids know that when they go to school that that's something important, and this helps also to help your vocabulary and their vocabulary. And finally, if possible, try and go to the country with that language. My kids have been with us to Taiwan and China. Usually at home they say Chinese is our family language, and which is true. But when they're in that other country, they recognize, wow, this language is bigger than my family. It's like an entire country, and it'll also help emphasize the importance of learning that language when they see it's beyond just their family. Anyways, these are some of my tips. Please leave comments about any experiences that you've had raising a bilingual child, or if you have any questions, please leave them below. Alright, thank you very much.
现在坐下的
Okay.
Thank you.